Hi, welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Retro Refix. And on this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at an external disk drive for the Amiga. This disk drive wasn't working, and the belt had come off and the belt had been really slack. I have been into it before and popped the belt back on, but it didn't really make much of a difference because the belt was slack. So what we're going to do on this video is strip this down, replace the belt inside there, and we'll take a look at a couple of the surface mount capacitors in there. If they're looking bad, we'll change them. If not, we won't bother. So that's what we're going to do on this episode. Just before that, I'd like to say thank you very much for subscribing. If you have done, if you haven't, please do so. Hit the bell and hit the notification to be notified of upcoming videos. We do have quite a lot of stuff coming up in the future. We have the 1581 disk drive build that's coming up, and as you'll see in the video towards the end, we should have a 1084 monitor to be taking a look at that's got a white screen and a load of vertical lines right across it. I'll pop a picture up and just show you what that is, and that's another video that's going to be coming up within the next few weeks or so, and when I can get a chance to have a look at that one. Also, if you like the t-shirts, and you like the cups, we have these cups made, we have got these available. So if you have a look in the description, you'll find the link to the Facebook group. If you drop into the Facebook group, all the information's there, and you can have a chat with myself about them as well. So, Amiga disk drive, let's get to it. Okay, so here we are with the little drive. These are the belts I'm going to be using. I'm no way affiliated with Disassembly, but these drives and these belts that they do all sorts of things. They do the belts for these, they do the belts for the disk drives for the Commodore 64 tape drives. They do the belts for the disk drives for the 64, the 1541s. They do belts for the Spectrum plus 2 drives, etc. So check out Dataserve. The address for that, I'll pop a picture up for you. But it is just www.dataserve-retro.co.uk, and you should be able to pick these up. They're really inexpensive. I think these were about £3.50 each. So they are very cheap. So that's what we're going to be installing here. And I believe that there is some surface mount capacitors that I want to take a look at too. I think there's about 3 in there. I don't know what they are, so we'll take a look at that when we get in there. So, right, to get into these drives, relatively simple. You've just got the 6 screws in the bottom. Flip the drive back over. This is where it's a little bit strange now. This is a bit strange, is this? So you pull the drive forward, you tilt the casing up, and you slide the drive out the front, that way. And that's the case off. See that little dust shield there? I might just put a bit of sellotape on that to hold it down again. Seems to be a little bit loose, but we'll do that when we're putting it back together. Take the little IDE cable off. Some of these drives have a power connector that goes to the drive as well, but not in this case. This is a thinner drive in comparison to the other ones. At the end, on the outro, I'll show you the thickness of the other drives as well. So that's it. We've got the drive out. We don't need any of that anymore. Just move that out of the way. What have we got in here? Right, so we have a couple of little screws up here. We should just pop straight out. That just holds the top shield cover on, and that should, a little clip under that side there, there's a little one under there, so if we just go under and lift like that, and lift again, Alright, maybe I won't lift again. Lift that up there like that. And that top shield can come off. Okay, like I said, you can see down there. I'll see if I can zoom you in a little bit. So you can see down there, there's a capacitor there. And I can just see a little capacitor under there as well. But we'll take a look at them shortly. The drive belt is a little bit awkward. Can you see that ring in there? There's the belt look. So the belt comes round this side, comes up here, and goes round this motor, and goes back round there, and it goes round a little pulley that's just inside there. I don't know if you can see. If I can move it around a bit, see if I can show you. Yeah, you can't really see inside there, but it's just there. There's a little pulley just down inside there. You can just see it. That's it there. And that's what we've got to get the belt around. It's a little bit funny, a little bit awkward, but we'll do it. So take that one screw out of there that holds the motor, and that should just lift straight off like that. We'll hook it out from underneath that belt, like that, and you can see that belt there now, look. So I can see another capacitor. There's one there and one there and one there. So what I want to do is take a look at them first, see if they've got any issues with them. Well, they do look pretty good anyway to them around there. There doesn't seem to be any leakage anywhere, so that's all looking good. So I don't think we actually need to, oops, taking off here there. I don't think we actually need to replace these capacitors at this time. It would be good and best practice to change them caps, but it would mean stripping the whole complete drive down. As you can see, this drive board is right at the bottom, so everything has to come out of the board. Everything has to come out to be able to get to all these capacitors that's underneath here as well. I thought there were only a couple, but looking down inside there, I can actually see more when you look down under there. So this drive belt, let's go back to the drive belt. Just be careful when you lift this motor off. Just try and move it a little bit more so you can see. So just be very, very careful when you're messing about with this motor, because these wires are very, very, very thin, and they'll more than likely be breaking off here. So let's get the belt out. So all I'm going to do is lift that belt up. Should be able to just lift that belt up and slide it up over that pulley. You see it pop up then? Yep. So I'm hoping that I should just be able to feed that belt straight out. So that's his belt out. So let's get another new one. So we've got his new belt now. So now we have to get this belt back in there. So try and turn it this way a little bit, because it might be easier on camera for you guys to see. It is awfully difficult to get this belt in there. So what I'm going to do is slide it up there, if I can. Try and use a screwdriver somehow. It pulled out of there very easily, didn't it? It's not going back in easy. We'll push that back inside there. Oops. Trapped underneath there. Just try and take it under there. So we can see the belt there, look. Can you see it? So I'm just going to pull that through. Pull that through, and we'll try and hoof it over the top of that big pulley, if I can. It's a bit of a jiggly thing to get in. See it through there now, we're getting closer. We'll put that belt over there. Pull it around that side. Feed it round there. So that should be the belt around that pulley now, which it is, I can feel that. So the difficult part is getting it around that little jockey pulley in the bottom of there. I will take a picture and show you that jockey pulley, a bit more clarity on it so you can see exactly where that is. But I'm going to try and push that up there now. And just try and put it over that little pulley, if I can do that easily or not, as the case may be. They are very finicky. You tend to find you get one side on and then the other side pops off, like on the big belt. So we try and use a little pick that's a little bit bendy. It should be able to give me a little bit of push on that. Let's try and hook it around that pulley. I think that got it. Yeah, it feels like it's got it. So I'm going to spin that back round there now like that. I'm going to use this little pick again, just to take the tension on that, because we need to get it over this. Oops, you can't see it, can you? I'm off screen again. So we need to get it over this pulley now, which is a little bit awkward. So I'm going to try and just sit it there if I can. And I'll flip that over. And I'll try and pull that with that little hook and put it up. Oops, it didn't work that way that time. I think that's on. Yep, I can feel it pull. And we sit that down there like that. Get his little screw again. Pop his little screw in. These are Phillips, but a little small screwdriver will fit it, it's fine. So I'm going to put that screw back in there, out dropping it into the drive itself. And if we just line up them two screws there, look, and the two screws, so there's one there and there's one there. They were the ones that actually held the shield cover on. So tighten that up there, that looks good. It's okay, them other screws, I'll fasten that down. So it looks like that belt's round on okay correctly. So what I'm going to do now is just sit and turn that pulley a little bit now, see if we can get that belt to centralise. Might not be able to get in there with the screwdriver, so if I do it with the finger. So we've spun them round now, the belt's sitting nicely in there. So all we need to do now, it is that simple, you see. So all we need to do now really is put the tin shield back together, put it all back together again. As I said, I was going to change them capacitors, but looking at them, they look pretty good. I can't see any leakage from them or anything like that, which is excellent, to be fair, for them little capacitors and their age. So I'm going to go with leaving them capacitors on this occasion. If I had seen any darking of the solder, it goes a little bit grey, does the solder, when you get leakages from these capacitors, but it is looking like they're okay. So let's get this tin shield back. Slot the tin shield over. It should just pop on like that. We'll take these other screws. We took out of there. So that's the belt installed into the drive. If you wanted to take these off, you see it's like a little bit mustardy coloured, isn't it? You know, it looks like it's gone a little bit yellowish. So if you wanted to do that, all you need to do is put your screwdriver in there, look, and pop that cover off. And you can do with that side there. And you can pop that cover off, and that just pulls straight out of the front. Just make sure they are clipped out before you pull it. And you can take that cover, front cover, straight off. And now I've taken that cover off, can you see the difference? Look, you see the colour of it inside, the colour of the outside, and you can actually see it, can't you, on the drive up here. And that's what happens over time, it just goes yellow. You can actually pull that button off as well, so you can actually change that and clean it and give it a retro bright and clean that up, make it look a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. Once you've retro brighted it, if you wanted to clean that up or paint it, whatever you want to do, you just push that back in like that, and it just clips back into place. That's how you take the front end off. So, right, where's that bottom? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a marker. I'm just going to put a date on the case, on the bottom. We're putting a new belt. So we've got 02622 on the bottom now. So I'll remember now that that's been changed, and we won't have to do that for a long, long time anymore. So all I need to do now is to just do it in reverse. So all we've got is the IDE cable. On there we go. And do the same with the reverse. Oh, we're going to take a look at this cover, won't we? And hopefully we can keep that to stick down a little bit. It is only a bit of sellotape, so by the look of it, so I'm going to put a bit of sellotape on there. We'll stick that sellotape on there first, and then we should be able to pull that to make it flat. And that should hold that down when we put it back together. So reverse order again. This side with the heat things always goes to the back. So we go in this way and then we go back onto it that way. So I'm going to slide that into there, like that. And then that hooks underneath that board and slides into place like that. What I do is I fasten these two down at the back properly first. Rule of thumb really is you shouldn't tighten any screws up until you've got them all in. It makes it easier to put the screws in, but on this occasion we don't need to, because that holds that back side and it allows the drive to slide about anyway. So we'll put a screw in that one. I'm not tightening that one up. Then we should be able to get the rest of the screws in here. And then once we've done it, I'll take you over to my A1200, plug it into the A1200, and we'll test to make sure it's reading discs. So that's it. Drive's all okay. I've been in here in the past to have a look to see what it was that was faulty in here when I got it, and the belt was stretched and it came off before, so I've just popped it back on for the time being. I lubricated the rails and I lubricated the worm drive for the head, etc., and things like that, so while it was out. It's always good practice to lubricate the areas that move, mechanical areas. So let's pop over to the Amiga 1200 and we'll see if this little baby works. So you can see the difference in the drives. You can see how thick these two ones are as opposed to this one. So this is more of a slimline drive. These are a little bit thicker. I believe that these don't have the belts inside them, depending on what drive's installed. I've had a look inside these two, and these two look like direct drive. Can't seem to see any belts in there, so that's good news for them drives. So we'll give this one a test now. I'm just going to pan you back to the Amiga, and we'll start it up, and we'll see if it loads. Right, so here they are at the A1200. It is switched on, so I'm just going to pan you up to that now, and we'll have a look and see if that disc works. The screen's looking a little bit yellow for some reason. I might have to, that'll be just on the adjustments on the settings. It is another screen that I've just popped on here for the moment. But you can see the drive over here. I put the disc in, you'll see the drive activity light come up. And then you should see around about here that the disc appears. And there you go. So that's showing you that it's reading that disc fine and dandy. So we know that that drive belt's working okay. So there you go. That's how you change the belt inside the little Amiga external disk drive. We did take a look at them capacitors. There was no, you can normally see with the solder marks on the side of them, at the side of the capacitors. If they're silver, then they're normally okay. If they've got a grey, like dark colour or something like that, then it is signs that them capacitors are leaking. But in this case, on this one, they all look good, so I've left them alone for the moment. As you saw on the screen there, the screen looked a little bit washed out. While we was checking on that, just shortly after off cam, the screen did go off, which gives a white screen with some white lines across it. Put that picture up again for you to have a look. So we're going to be taking a look at that in the future. Guys, if you've not subscribed and you're enjoying what I do, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit me the thumbs up. It all does help for the channel. Yeah, so that's it for this week. So the Amiga disk drive is now up and working, so we better use that. I have got a couple more which I showed you in the video, the little bit of fatter ones. They do need a bit of a strip down and clean and service, so I'll be doing that in the future. So that's it for this week. So all I can say is thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!